the self-preservation aspect of human beings has to play a role in here. But she's never said anything about President Trump to me.
I want to ask you something. Do you recall in any conversation with Ghislaine Maxwell where she said, you know, you got to get me a meeting, Arthur, because there are all these guys' names that haven't come out yet, including Trump?
Obviously, Mr. Cuomo with the mustache that's growing on me, I would say, even through the course of the show here. And I did make a donation for the record
Thank
because
you.
it's a
Thank
good
you.
cause. So Ghislaine
You're winning me
is
over. Continue.
she's a very strong woman. She's a very smart woman, right? But nobody wants to be in prison for 20 years. And I mean, I can tell you, first of all, let me just say this. I did not represent her when she was speaking to the Deputy Attorney General of the United States of America. But I have spoken to Ghislaine, my partner, Diane. Excuse me, Diana spoke to her either last week or the week before last. Um, Everyone wants to help themselves, especially when you're in the Tallahassee prison, which was a horrible place. We visited her there. We spent time with her there. The guards were rough on us. God knows what they are to her. And anytime she would speak out, she would be put in solitary confinement. So, Chris, just the self-preservation aspect of human beings has to play a role in here. But she's never said anything about President Trump to me. I believe that she took her conversations with the Deputy Attorney General very, very seriously and told the truth. Um, Even in these emails, Chris, there's nothing damning in there. There's nothing in there that would make rise that a prosecutor could bring a case. And so, bottom
But
line
now
is,
it's so now I got to flip it on you though, Arthur, which is, yeah, I was with you on that. If somebody has that kind of information and they're looking at 20 years, they don't have to be asked twice to give it up, especially if one of the people they could talk about is the president, unless he's the sitting president. And if you shut your mouth, you get maybe a commutation and you get this peachy life that Jamie Raskin is talking about, which evidently she has now.
but she's been under this cloud during the Biden administration as well. And don't you think, Chris, after they've gone after him? I mean, I'm just basing this on common sense, but don't you think the way they've gone after Donald Trump any way possible, if she had the ability to go to the DOJ of Merrick Garland under President Biden and say, look, I can take Trump down if you want him out of your life. It's just not the case. It's just not the facts. Look, here's where she's allowed me to violate the attorney-client privilege. You know what she said to me when we were face to face? Is we don't talk about this. We talk about the law. We talk about her trial. We talk about her appellate issues. But she's like, Arthur, she has an interesting accent. It's not really British, but it's not really American. She's like, Arthur, I'm allowed to curse. I guess I can curse a little bit. She's like, Arthur, it's all bullshit. She's like, he's dead. And if I say anything, I get put in solitary confinement. So they're allowed to create this fairy tale in this storybook. Look, Chris, I heard about how much money the Epstein estate gave out. But all you had to kind of do was line up and say that this happened. There was no checks and balances, and they were writing out a check. I am positive from what I know that there was some young women there who are absolutely hurt and deserve that. I don't put Virginia Giuffre in that category. We've caught her lying so many times. The federal government, when they tried Ghislaine's case, they interviewed Giuffre for hours, maybe days. They never put her on the stand. You're a lawyer. Why? Why? Because she wasn't credible. She accused our friend Allen 6 times in 6 places, and then after years, when he sued her for defamation, then that's the case I handled against Giuffre. I may have made a mistake. Maybe it wasn't Alan Dershowitz over 6 times in 6 different locations. Ruined the guy's life. Ruined Dershowitz's life in his 80s by being falsely accused of this. So I heard the beginning of the show, and I'm not saying this because it's you and it's your show and you're my friend. You're absolutely correct. This is being used as a tool. It's being and you showed that in the beginning it was being used as a tool by the Republicans. Now it's being used as a tool by the Democrats. It's just being used as a tool. Folks, I do a lot of criminal law. I hate to break the news to you. There are a lot of pedophiles out there. we're dealing with some high level people, and we don't hear about them because it's not being used as a tool the way this one is being used as a tool. And it's sad because I call BS on this is about the survivors. I don't believe it's really about the survivors. I think it's about everything, maybe but the survivors, because most of those survivors have gotten, as you said, millions of dollars already, and they're on with their lives.
Listen, I'm with you, Arthur. I mean, look, I the victimization to me seems, I have another good buddy who was a lawyer for a couple of the victims. They were very, very credible. And I think this guy's a real monster. And I think Maxwell's got her work cut out for her getting a commutation because, especially with all this hullabaloo going on around this. But they got to release the files because this has become too big a blister.
I don't
for
disagree
both
with
sides.
you. One
Nobody
quick point,
trusts
Chris.
anything. It's got to come out. Make your last point.
I just don't know how the guest was talking about Elaine's getting all this special treatment here, there, and everywhere. Yes, she went into a very high security environment to a much lower security environment. Every inmate is allowed to use the exercise equipment, during waking hours. Yes, the wardens and the staff do help you file legal paperwork. That's not a Ghislaine thing. That's when in that particular environment, in that facility that she's in, you're allowed to do that. There are some inmates who are allowed to leave because they're on sanitation duty and things like that. So, I mean, I don't know where they're getting their information from, but Elaine's hanging tough.
They're making a play that Trump is making things nice for her because he doesn't want her to talk or whatever. We get the politics, but we got to release the files because it's the only way anybody will ever have any objective basis of judgment. I think they'll still be disappointed, but we are where we are. Arthur Aidala, thank you very much. You look great,
handlebar, maybe, Chris. Little handlebar.
Beautiful tie. Listen, I'm raising money for Movember, then I'm going to shave it. All right, I got to go.